Welcome everyone to our Modern Day Mystery School, book study number 28. We are continuing our Death is Transition series on a frighteningly popular topic. This week, it is photographic pictures in support of apparitional phenomena. Now, I'm not going to be sharing any ghost photos here, but I will be sharing the esoteric explanation of them. However, I will share links to some YouTube channels with stellar ghost content. So Goose Pimples and Slapped Ham, giving them a shout out. I don't like saying slapped ham because I think it should be slapped vegan ham. But anyway, this is an invaluable series on after death states, as in our trying to understand death. We can then find the meaning of life. It's true. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them here. Leave them here. Eddie will be here with us in this book study in July. It would be awesome for us to be able to answer your questions live or in person here on this book study. So thank you very much. If you are here and you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. I don't like having to ask for that, but these have been very quiet. It is invaluable to get these teachings out into the world. The more people that come across them, they might find them and be able to change their lives too. And remember, these teachings did not originate with Eddie. He did not come up with them. He has compiled this collection. He spells them out so all can understand. This is not about selling this book. It's about getting these teachings out into the world of today where it is so desperately needed, not in the form of a religion or a church or society or organization, but simply so you can study on your own time, in your own life, at your leisure, for free, with these lessons. So please, if you're gaining anything from these teachings, these Sunday lessons, I humbly ask you if you could like, subscribe, and share, because that helps the algorithm and gets them out there so other people can discover them. Again, it's not about me, nor is it about Eddie, but the teachings are the star here. Now, something I used to say all the time on this channel is that the platform that the wisdom is to be taught from is meant for the wisdom, not the teacher. So we're going to continue through in volume 2. This is volume 2 of Unfolding Consciousness, Exploring the Living Universe and the Intelligent Powers in Nature and Humans. Referenced, written, compiled, and completely spelled out in brave and fearless depth by Dr. Eddie Villamoria. In Volume 2, it has a secondary title. This is Peering Down the Microscope. We're looking at man's internal landscapes, looking within the human being. So as we go through Chapter 5, which is Death is Transition, Time at the Door of Eternity, we're taking a look at the world of ghost photography. In our modern world, there are more opportunities than ever before to get these photos. And we're on page 83, Photographic Pictures in Support of Apparitional Phenomena. Our yellow Post-it study notes that are found inside the book, down the margins, on all the pages to make it easy to follow. This week, they are modern technology employed to verify subtle energies on the physical plane. Circumstances of death determine the quality of the post-mortem photos. And truth is not the special prerogative of those with Ivy League credentials. I get so excited about this. This is a brave work. Thank you, Eddie Villamoria, for your courage in bringing all of this forth. He's getting a lot of flack. A lot of them do, like Rupert Sheldrake. All need access to these ancient mystery teachings. And don't forget, you get 20% off the 4-volume set with the exclusive book study code, which is UC Book Study, from the Shepard Walwyn website. That is for the 4-volume hardback book. Ebooks are on the way, paperbacks, condensed versions, audiobooks, and more. So here we go. Photographic pictures in support of apparitional phenomena. Given that throughout the ages, there have been countless cases of apparitions seen not just by folks who are sensitive to them, but by otherwise normal people. It should be possible in our current age of modern science to obtain photographic evidence of such occurrences soon after death, in the borderline between death and the afterlife, when they're in between. There is indeed evidence to support this argument. A man named Harry Oldfield, who recently passed away in 2019, was a British inventor. He was a scientist, an explorer of undiscovered realms. His special area of expertise was the visual presentation of energy fields. And so he invented the polycontrast interference photography, or PIP. Again, that is polycontrast interference photography, an imaging system pioneered in the 1980s, which has now been replaced by the new energy vision camera. So listen, Using microchip technology, Oldfield developed a scanner which could provide a real-time moving image of the energy field around the human body and other objects. He then devised a computer program to analyze the different light intensities being reflected from the person or the object being scanned. Now, simply put, what is shown is an energy interaction with light, providing insight into the energy counterpart. For example, the etheric template or etheric double, which is the double of the physical body. Let's take a look at this table here. This table is from Chapter 2 in Volume 2, page 21. It's the whole man, his constitution during earthly life, one human territory, many anatomical maps. So moving into the middle section here, Section 2, you'll see the Sthula Sharira, which is the physical body, the vehicle of all the things above. Looking one above that, you will see the Linga Sharira, or the etheric double, the astral body, the model body, what our physical body is modeled of and from. That's a representation, so it looks the same. It's just of finer quality. The causal form of the physical body, okay? So that is the model body. So that's what we're looking at. In 2006, the International Society for the Study of Subtle Energies and Energy Medicine awarded Oldfield the Alison Elmer Green Award for innovation in respect of this photoimaging work. The Society noted that it allows us to experience our multidimensional existence through extraordinary images. Oldfield used the PIP instrument to conduct experiments as ethically as possible. It's important. So this was under the direction of a professor of pathology in a mortuary. His objective was to photograph spectral energies and presences to demonstrate that the psychic manifestations of the newly deceased have a basis in science. This is huge. 4 corpses were brought into the mortuary within the previous 12 hours of the experiment, so they are freshly passed away. Okay, the coroner requested that none of the bodies be put in the fridge. They didn't want them to be cold. They wanted them in their natural state. And one body was that of a young man who died a few hours earlier in an accident on the road. Another body was an elderly man who was having a normal day talking to his friends and suddenly passed away about 12 hours before. And the third and fourth bodies were of a man and a woman who had died approximately 24 hours earlier from a deliberate drug overdose. All films were confidential and out of respect for the deceased and their families. Their names were withheld, and under no circumstances were the faces shown at all in this research. So, in the case of the young man and the elderly man, there appeared to be a residual energy around both bodies. And looking above the bodies, above them, there were configurations of energy approximately the same length and width of the physical body and reaching up about 4 feet above the body. And regarding the suicide cases, the post-mortem changes were the most advanced, and the PIP images showed a very low-grade energetic pattern which appeared as dark red and black, denoting the life force was absent. And moreover, energy configurations did not seem to be present above the bodies, as in the case of the young man and the elderly man. Now, this finding bears that what we have stated earlier, what Eddie has stated earlier in this chapter, which is none other than the indisputable verdict of the perennial wisdom regarding the post-mortem state of suicide, namely that their degree of unhappiness is dependent on the motive behind the act. What he means here is that their degree of unhappiness after death depends on the motive of the suicide. So if a suicide is because you're looking at torture and you're going to die anyway, or if you throw yourself on a grenade to save your friends, there is a difference in the effect of the cause. So he's saying here, their degree of unhappiness after death is dependent on the motive behind the suicide. In evaluating the worth of these discoveries, it must be stated that Oldfield was not the archetypal international scientist with high academic qualifications and accolades and learned books and scholarly peer-reviewed papers. He was really a normal fellow. However, his work has made the point more than once that the famous are not necessarily great, And the great invariably do not become famous. That is so brilliant, I'm going to say it again. That the famous are not necessarily great, and the great invariably do not become famous. There are many scientists whose quest after truth involves a journey outside that of mainstream science and laboratories. Such researchers tend to work in the virtual solitude of their houses or their garage and are known only by their immediate colleagues. Their output, however, should be appraised for its own merits, being no less worthy for not originating from Oxbridge or an Ivy League university. Just so, Eddie has attended Oldfield's workshops. He's been there. He's seen the lectures and the investigative demonstrations on numerous occasions over many years. And Eddie can personally bear witness to the genuineness of these scanned images and human energy field and associated photographs. On these grounds, there are no reasons to doubt the testimony from the images scanned in the mortuary, as described in Harry Oldfield's Invisible Universe. That's the name of his work. Look it up. Invisible Universe. I'll see if I can include a link down below. Now we continue, listen, with a subject that is unpleasant. It's unpleasant, but it is of grave importance if we are to gain any understanding about the darker regions of consciousness that mainstream science is singularly unable to comprehend. The whole purpose of unfolding consciousness is not to revel in details for their own sake, but only to mention as much of the latter that is needed to recognize the underlying principles in order to surmount the more somber aspects of existence with intelligence and understanding. So this applies to what is commonly known as hell. So next week, we go to hell and we continue with the state of Avicii. This is Avicii, also known as hell, the eighth sphere. I love this. This is so important. I'm so grateful to be here doing these with you. I wish everybody had access to these teachings. This is just such a colossal thing. And that's why I'm here every week. I cheekily say the modern day mystery schools because this is what was taught inside the mystery schools. So it's not a mystery anymore. I can't think of a more important subject to study. Again, there's nothing more important for us humans to do, because if we can understand death, we investigate death, we look at death, we face death, we accept death, we can learn the meaning of life. The study and application and understanding of these teachings has changed my life exponentially. And that's why I do these book studies with you. That's why I suit up and show up every week. So please, if you have any questions or anything at all, a comment, a suggestion, anything, please, please, please write it down in the comments, because it's awfully quiet here. This is a group effort. And sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself. And we want to hear from you because Eddie will be here with us in a book study session in July. And it'd be great if we can answer your questions. He can answer your questions in person. These book studies are all about you. You are the reason I'm here and why I do what I do. So please, 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 I would qualify as begging. Please share these. Please like and subscribe. It helps get these ancient teachings out into the modern world of today. It helps the algorithm. This is just service. This is a labor of love. And it's because these teachings, I have seen their importance. I've applied them. It's made me happier, wholer, and just, I'm not afraid of death at all. And I want to help. So thank you for being here with me. I love you. And next week, we're going to hell together. I'll see you here. Mwah.